Session 1, Topic 5, Artifacts in SAP. If you are going to work in an SAP project, it's very much important that you understand what are the common artifacts that are used in the SAP project implementation. You don't have to have the complete mastery of these artifacts, or you will, as a performance tester or engineer, you will not be the one who will be writing these documents, but at a very high level you should have a good understanding of what these documents are, what is the purpose of this document, and some of these documents you have to understand and use it while gathering the non-functional requirement. So it's very much important that you understand at a very high level, right? So you just get familiarized with what these documents are, what it does, right? So that's going to be the agenda for today's discussion. You can get started. So first, once the funding is approved, there will be functional team, business team, and the architects, right? They will be working on the solution blueprint. This will be the first technical document that comes out during the implementation phase, right? So at this stage, even the testers or QA, they are not going to be involved. Only the key teams will be the functional team, business team, and the solution architects. So they build this comprehensive solution blueprint which talks about what are their business needs, goals, and what are the technologies that they are going to use in order to accomplish that goals, and what are the features, functionalities, what the standard SAP is offering, what are the levels of customization they want. At a very high level, detailed, this document will capture all those key insights. Okay, so following the solution, once the solution blueprint is ready, right, then comes the BPD, the business process design document, and this is one step detailed than what it is in the solution blueprint document in terms of the business process. The requirement, we have the business requirement, they want this particular thing to be done. So now we sketch out the business process. When I say now, it's not as business team and the functional team, right? The functional consultant, they sketch out what are the business process in order to achieve that requirement, what business process needs to be followed, what are the standard business process that comes along with the standard package, and what are the other customized process that needs to be included, right? So they clearly define the business process as part of this business process design document. Then we have the functional requirement document, which is like the next level of document, right? So now we have the business process clearly defined. Now this business process needs to be converted into functionalities, right? The functionalities are the features. So that conversion and those level of details will get documented in the functional requirement document. And once the functional requirement document is ready, right, then we have the technical design document. So how that particular functionality will be implemented. So this based on this technical design document, right, so they will derive what are the objects that needs to be built. So those level of technical details we can expect from the technical design document. Then we have the KDD, which is nothing but the key design decision. So in order to achieve a functionality, right, so they come up with the process, then they need to understand if we implement this process, will there be any impact to some of the existing business process, right? So the key design decision, so consultants involve the business and they make sure the key design decision is taken, right? So this is the flow and these are the changes we are going to do. So all those things are documented in the key design document. In some of the enhancement or the change request, right, even there the team usually build this key design document, key design decision document, in order to get approval from all the stakeholders, and before implementing it, this is one of the key artifacts that gets developed. So then from the technical design document, they have this objects. So those objects, common terminology that they use in the SAP landscape is RISEF or RISEFW or RISEF. It depends, few project users call it as RISEFW and few call it as RISEF. So it stands for reports, interfaces, conversion, enhancement, forms, and workflows. So these are nothing but these are like, now we have the functionality, we know the functionality, right? In order to build that functionality, what are the objects that they have to build, right? So this RiseUp talks has all those details. So this is like the building blocks. For example, in order to build a functionality, we need all these building blocks. Let's take an example for the sales order creation. In order to build that functionality, the commerce platform or the e-commerce channel will trigger the sales order, then it goes to S4, and there might be some interfaces, right? So that particular object that sends the data from the commerce platform to SAP, what is that, how we are building those interfaces, right? So under that functionality, right, like they will have one object with I002, and it talks about the interfaces that gets used in building that functionality. Similarly, reports, right? For example, once all the sales orders are created and we want to get a visual report of how many sales orders have been created in a particular plant or during a particular week, right? So for that they need to again build a kind of Fiori dashboards or reports, right? So for that they'll have R3578. So that particular reporting object will talk about how they are building that report. Then we have conversion. For example, if they are moving from the old legacy system ECC to S4, right? So what are the tables that the sales order will access? Are there any additional field or column that are added, right? So that conversion, data conversion from old to new system. So those kind of changes are handled by the C3457. And enhancement, maybe for this feature we don't have enhancement. So also for the feature, right, like it's not mandatory that you should have all these objects. For a few features they might have one or two, all right. So it depends. So that's about this RiseUp. So this is something you will be using it. Okay, so before we do performance testing, right, during the requirement gathering phase, this RiseUp objects plays a key role. So they will give what are the RiseUps that they will be deploying in that particular release. You need to go and check. It's not going to be one team's responsibility. I think all the teams will be involved in going through this RiseUp objects, and if the architects think that there's a need for PT, so they will explicitly mention this particular feature functionality or the RiseUp requires performance testing. Sometimes they might not give, so you have to go through this feature functionality RiseUp and make sure if it's an ideal candidate for performance testing or not. So this is something you will come across during the performance testing phase. RiseUp objects, this happens during the requirement gathering. So we'll talk about it more while in the future sessions. Okay, so next, now we have the RiseUp object. Now the particular feature is fully built, right, and we do performance testing and functional, all those testing, right? If you come across any issues, right, so the usual approaches, like first we'll try to discuss with the developers and see if they are able to identify the problem. If they are not able to identify the problem, the immediate thing that they do is create a ticket. In the SAP terminology, we call it as OSS ticket, online service system. This is something you hear commonly, during the testing or engineering, any phase, right? This is something you will constantly hearing, OSS ticket. Did we raise an OSS ticket? What is the status of the OSS ticket? You'll hear this a lot. So that's nothing but online service system. It's like a ticketing platform that SAP uses. So whenever you have an issue, you can raise the ticket and give the priority. If it is like production impacting the production, you can keep a priority as 1. If it is not that critical, P2, P3, right, they have their own priority while creating the ticket. So that's the OSS ticket. Then we have OSS note. Some of the issues that you are facing, right, that would have been already addressed for a different client. The other client would have raised a OSS note and OSS ticket, and the SAP would have given them the solution for that. So all those solutions, past solution which SAP has given for other clients, right, that those are documented under the OSS note. So what happens sometimes, the SAP vendor team, right, they will tell us, apply this OSS node. Sometimes even we can go and refer if there are any relevant OSS node that's already there for this particular problem that we are facing in the system, right? So even we can refer. When I say we, it's not going to be a job, but you are going to be in all this conversation. So it will be the support team, SAP support team, or the ABAP team, right? So or the basis team, right? They will be owning this ticket. They are responsible for creating this ticket. But as a performance tester or engineer, you will be engaged in all these conversations. And I think these are pretty much, you'll be hearing during the project implementation, and these informations are based on my last project experience. There are other documents and other things that the team might be using, but these are some of the core key artifacts that we will, as a performance tester or engineer, you will have to get involved or have an understanding. So those are the key details that I wanted to cover in this topic. We'll see more about other areas in our subsequent sessions. Thank you.